Hey everyone, welcome to Two Car Pros. My name is Ryan and today I'm going to show you exactly how to replace your battery in a 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan V6. So this is a really simple and straightforward repair that literally anybody can do with two tools, and I go over them in the video. The only thing I want to say is when you're working with a battery, go ahead and don a pair of gloves to protect your skin from any kind of battery acid. All that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get started by opening the hood. Our first step in replacing our battery is going to take us here to the driver's footwell, where we can pull the hood latch and pop the hood. So right under here we can see our hood latch release. Go ahead and give that a pull. Now you can see that the hood has a little bit of a gap here. You can actually slink your fingers in and feel for the latch. It's right here, and you just push down and kind of to the right and then lift the hood up. And then we can use our hood prop to prop our hood open. So now we can get to removing our battery terminal cables. Now I have two tips for you on that. The first one is to remove the negative battery terminal first, then the positive, and then when you hook it back up, put the positive on first, then the negative. Always do it that way so you don't get sparks. The other tip I have for you is in regards to safety. If you're using a wrench, never get in the situation where you're going to connect the two terminals like this. Never ever do this because you're going to cause sparks. You're going to do a little bit of arc welding. It's super dangerous. It can make the battery explode and you can burn yourself. So it is very dangerous to do that. Never ever cross your terminals and for any reason. So when you're using a wrench, be extra careful. And we're going to be using a 10mm wrench here today to remove our negative terminal first. So you can just get it loose and then store it down in such a way that it won't accidentally touch while we're working. Now we're going to go ahead and remove our positive terminal here. There we go. And again, store that down and away so it doesn't accidentally get in our way while we're working or touch the battery. Now if you try to pull up on this, you really can't. It's held in with a 13mm bolt we're going to remove right now. So to the left of the battery is the 13mm bolt, and I'm going to use a socket and an impact gun here, but you could just use a wrench if you want, as long as it's 13mm. I just like using this electric impact gun because the bolt's kind of long and I don't want to sit there all day. So we can remove our hold down chuck piece and the bolt and put that somewhere safe. We're going to need that later. And now we can remove the battery. Now we can safely remove our battery. And another tip I have for you is in regards to your own safety, is always wear a pair of gloves whenever you're handling batteries. Batteries excrete acid. They can be in way worse condition than this one. They can burn your skin. They're just not very good to handle with bare skin. So I always recommend wearing gloves and maybe even eye protection if it's really corroded and gross. So we can go ahead and remove that. So here is our new battery. Basically the only thing you need to make sure is that the size is the same as the old battery, and your positioning for your positive and negative terminals are in the same spot, and your cold cranking amps are the same, which is 800 for us here. It's also the same group size 34, so we know the battery is the same size. We can just remove these two little protectors here. Now the reason I don't have the stock battery that I removed here to compare it is because you get what's called a core charge, and what that is wherever you are exchanging your battery for is going to give you like $10 or $15 in exchange for your used battery to make sure it's recycled properly. So they're incentivizing you to bring your battery in so it's disposed of property, because there's lead in these batteries and battery acid, and they're very harmful to the environment if you just throw them away. So it is good, and you get a little money back, so what's wrong with that? And we got our battery from Costco. I like getting batteries from Costco because they give you a 3-year warranty. Three full years of warranty on this bad boy, which is just awesome. Of course, you can go to any kind of AutoZone, O'Reilly's, or anything like that. It doesn't have to be Costco. That's just my preferred battery vendor. So let's go ahead and put this thing in. So the next thing we can do is take a look at our terminal cables here. And they're pretty used, they're a little corroded, got some crud on there. And what we can do is take a battery terminal cleaning tool, link down below in the description, and just give this a couple passes. Don't go crazy with it, you just want to put a nice new surface on the inside of the terminal. So we can go ahead and clean both sides. What this is going to do is make sure we get a nice good connection on our new battery terminals. So now we can replace our battery and carefully drop it in here. What you're looking at now is to the right of the battery. I noticed that there was like a little lip here that is going to help hold the battery down, so slide the battery over to the right so that way it can't come up on the right side. And we can replace our hold down clamp here, making sure that the lip of it is on top of our battery like this, so that way it'll hold it down in case you hit a bump too hard or something like that. I grab our 13mm socket. Now you could use a ratchet or a wrench at this point. I'm going to use my electric impact gun. And just snug that bad boy down, make sure it's not jiggling or nothing. You can even grab the battery and try to lift it up and out, but you can't. It's wedged in place. Don't pull up too hard on it. Just make sure it's not going to go flying if you hit a bump or make a turn, which this is perfect, so that's good. Now we can replace our positive terminal that we cleaned up earlier. Slide that guy on there. Grab our 10mm wrench, snug those up. Making sure not to touch the battery terminals together, and just give that a nice snug. Make sure you can't move it. Positive's all done. Now we can move on to the negative. Now, the negative might scare you a little bit because when you put the negative on there, some sparks can fly out and it can kind of make some electric noises, which can be a little startling if you're not expecting it. Now, if it sparks a bunch and goes out of control, lift the terminal back off. That's why I like to touch it first like this to make sure it's not going to go completely crazy on me. And then we can just make sure that is fully seated down and tighten this 10mm nut back up. Again, don't go crazy on that, just make sure it's nice and snug, and we're all done. I also wanted to show a tip on closing the hood. I've seen a lot of people doing this wrong, and I'll explain why. Some people like putting the hood down like this and then pushing on the hood, but what you end up with is dents and hand marks on the front. The easiest way to shut the hood is to lift it about here and then just let go. And now it's shut perfectly, and you're not going to get dents in the hood. So that's how to replace your battery. It is very easy, very simple and straightforward, and an excellent way to get you used to working on your own car. It is a perfect first time repair that anybody should be able to tackle, and it's going to save you a lot of money. How much money? Well, I'll go ahead and tell you. I bought that battery for $89 once you factor in the core charge I explained earlier. So $89 and my own time. So I'm only out $89. Now, if you took that to the dealer, they get to charge you 0.4 of an hour to do that job. So that's about $40 just in labor. And then the battery, they're probably gonna charge you right around $200 for it because of that dealer markup. So you're gonna be paying $240. So about 90 bucks or $240. You decide. Thank you so very much for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe down below, and I'll catch you next time.